Welcome to the Fantasy Football News. I am your host, the esteemed and honorable Eric, and it is great to have you with us this week as we relive each spectacular moment of fantasy football from week 5. Before we get to the scores, though, a quick thank you for those of you that came over for the second of my Thursday night football watch parties. It was a good time, punctuated by an absolutely awful game of football. There are still 2 more opportunities to join us here. Coming up, we have the Falcons versus the Panthers on November 10th. I will be serving smoked chicken for that one. And then the finale of my Thursday night football parties will be the Seahawks versus the 49ers on December 15th. And for that game, I will be serving delicious ribs. All are welcome. I just ask that you let me know if you're coming so that I am prepared. Enough chatter. On to the scores. First up this week is our Ops Soup League, and our first match in the Ops Soup League is Rebel Scum versus Black Ops MC. Black Ops MC had the number 4 pick in the draft this year, and after picks 1 through 3 went quarterback, he made the bold decision to go with Jonathan Taylor. Now, Marcus has said that he was working and that this was an auto draft pick, but we here at FFN have yet to see any evidence of this. Unfortunately for this team, Taylor has so far showed no sign of the prowess he displayed last year, managing only 46.2 points so far this season, including a 0-point effort this week, as he was a known scratch for the Thursday night game. At this point, it appears that Black Ops MC will need a major shift in team management principles if they hope to salvage this season. It does not help that they faced a red-hot Rebel Scum team that is seemingly unbeatable as they go 3-0 across all 3 leagues that they compete in this week. The highlights for Rebel Scum this week were to be found in the running back room as Dalvin Cook, Nick Chubb, and Jeff Wilson Jr. combined for 71.7 points, more than half of their total points scored. For the 3rd week in a row, Geno Smith sat on the bench as he outscored at least one of Rebel Scum's starting quarterbacks, and rumors are spreading that Geno may get a start in the near future. Rebel Scum wins this matchup handily 131.88 to 86.06 as they stretch their winning streak to 5. Next up for Black Ops MC is a match with the Sandlot Turf Burns, while Rebel Scum will face Team Scott as they hope to tie their league-high 6 consecutive wins mark from that they set, I believe, last season. Our second matchup was Don't Remember Didn't Happen versus Team Scott. Team Scott had only one player break the 20-point mark this week, Tom Brady, with 22.24. Middling effort from the rest of her roster left her in rough shape. For his part, Don't Remember Didn't Happen managed to score a mighty goose egg in his OP slot with Teddy Bridgewater taking over duties at this position from Tua Tagovailoa, who is still out due to head trauma. Elite performance from Austin Eckler with 34.4 and Travis Kelce with 30 saved the error, and DRDH manages to mark the win this week, 154.74 to 114.38. Team Scott will take on Rebel Scum next week. Don't Remember Didn't Happen gets a visit from Garbage Time. Our third matchup was the generic football team versus the Sandlot Turf Burns. A moment ago, I talked of the issues facing Black Ops MC, and while rough, they still managed to outscore the Turf Burns this week. One player on the Turf Burns roster managed to break the 10-point mark, Devontae Adams, with 28.4. Mike started both Matt Ryan and Russell Wilson, who played opposite each other in that horrible Thursday night football game. Combined, these two once elite quarterbacks managed 15.3 points in week 5. I imagine that the Turf Burns are scouring the waiver wire for help, but it may be hard to come by in the 2 QB system that is in place this year. Being the lowest scoring team in the league is hard enough for the Turf Burns, but Randy added insult to injury here as he manages the highest score of the week at 183.46. Bolstered by 38.48 from Pat Mahomes, 27.2 from Breece Hall, and 25.9 from Tyler Lockett, the GFT looks ready to make a mark on the league as they have now strung together 4 wins in a row after losing in week 1. Final here at Generic Stadium is Sandlot Turf Burns, 77.6, the GFT 183.46. Week 6 action will see the Turf Burns taking on Black Ops MC, and the GFT hosting Stars and Stripes. Our fourth matchup is Stars and Stripes versus 12th Man Mafia. 12th Man Mafia got an amazing 47.16 points from quarterback Josh Allen that positioned her well after the end of the Sunday afternoon games, having only a 34.02 point deficit and 2 players in the Sunday night game, Devin Duvernay and Mark Andrews, who was a favorite red zone target. Duvernay managed 10.3, with Andrews hitting 18.9. Those of you that are competent with a calculator will know that that was just not quite enough in this one. Stars and Stripes saw no exceptional performances from his roster, but managed just enough effort from his players to hold on for the victory here, 132.16 to 127.34. 12th Man Mafia hosts Team 1051 next week. Stars and Stripes heads out to Anytown to face the generic football team. And now, Mike's game of the week. Mike's game. It's Mike's game. Mike's game of the week. It's Mike's game. Mike's game. Mike's game of the week. Mike's game of the week. Mike's game of the week. Mike's game. It's Mike's game. Mike's game of the week. It's Mike's game of the week. Mike's game of the week. It's Mike's game. It's Mike's game. Mike's game of the week. It's Mike's game. Mike's game of the week. It's Mike's game. Mike's game. Game of the week. It's Mike's game. Mike's game. Mike's game of the week. It's Mike's game of the week. Game of the week. Oh, Mike's game. It's Mike's game of the week. Mike's game of the week. Yeah. Team 1051 seems to be on a roll as they consistently find themselves needing a Monday night miracle to pull out a victory. Week 5 was no different as they needed just 7.38 points from Darren Waller. This feat seemed easily manageable, but would have been unneeded had they not gotten a fat zero from T. Higgins. Garbage Time was likely sweating this match on Monday night as he held that slim lead. Persistent rumors of a big trade were out and about, as many believed that Garbage Time would be picking up superstar quarterback Geno Smith. Had this trade happened, Garbage Time would have had a commanding lead in this one and been left with no worries about that possible miracle. Sources inside the Garbage Time organization are saying that there will likely be a vote of no confidence in their management team coming soon, even though they did escape Week 5 with a win, 116.44 to 109.06. 12th Man Mafia will host Team 1051 next week. Garbage Time, should their organization survive, will travel to Don't Remember. Didn't happen. Our weekly $5 contest this week was Oops-a-Daisy week in Week 5, and that is the team that has the highest scoring bench player. Garbage Time owner Casey won the prize this week, marking the first, and hopefully last, money that he will ever get from this league. Week 6 is Truck Stick week, as teams are looking for the running back with the longest rushing play. Most fantasy points by that running back will be the tiebreaker. That will do it for our Op Soup League scores. Stay tuned for Outcast scores and our Laid Egg segment after these messages from our sponsor.
Glory, glory, Man United! Glory, glory, Man United!
Glory, glory, Man United, as the Reds go marching on, on, on!
Welcome to Old Trafford, it's the
Better of our dreams,
The power and the glory of the Shepherd End will sing. The Musty boys will take the pitch with marching at their feet as the Reds go marching on, on, on. Glory, glory, Man United! Glory, glory, Man United! Glory, glory, Man United! As the Reds go marching on.
This shirt belongs to you. Always has, always will.
All right, welcome back. Now on to our Outcast League. Our first match in the Outcast League was Team Sesh versus the Ballhawks. The Ballhawks faced an uphill battle in Week 5 as they squared off against the only remaining undefeated team, Team Sesh. An excellent 26.7-point performance from Brees Hall was offset by the 0-point effort of T. Higgins, as the Ballhawks find themselves under the 100-point mark for the third time in just 5 weeks. At 2-3, the Ballhawks need to get their mojo rising as we head into the middle season stretch. Team Sesh posted the second highest score of Week 5, with quarterback Pat Mahomes leading the charge, posting 41.4 points. Nick Chubb managed 25.4 in Team Sesh's effort, as Jake takes home his fifth win to remain undefeated, 143.8 to 98.9. The Ball Hawks will get a visit from Randall Access Memories, while Team Sesh is at home for Show Me Your Kittles in Week 6. Our second matchup was Randall Access Memories versus Timinators. Timinators managed 30.9 points from Leonard Fournette and 25.9 points from Devontae Adams on their way to posting a score of 114. This score combines to place them at 6th place in the points for this season. Unfortunately for Tim, they hold a slim lead in points against, as they have faced one of the week's top 3 scorers in 4 of the last 5 weeks. These types of matchups can demoralize a team quickly, and sources inside the Timinators locker room have stated that a team retreat is being scheduled to ensure that they are mentally prepared to battle as we head into the fall stretch. Randall Access Memories had great performances from Josh Allen with 47.4 and Dalvin Cook with 25.1 as they cruised to the win here, 138.4 to 114. Timinators hosts Mongo Mentality in Week 6. Randall Access Memories will travel to a match with the Ball Hawks. Our third matchup was Rebel Scum versus Show Me Your Kittles. In a kind of reverse Thunderdome match, 2 1-3 teams met up to determine the best of the worst. Show Me Your Kittles started slow on Thursday night, managing just 11.9 points from Russell Wilson, but was helped a bit by an 18.1 point effort from Saquon Barkley on Sunday. Khalil Herbert was likely the unraveling for the Kittles as he managed just 1.1 points. Rebel Scum moves to 2-3 and ahead of the Kittles in the division, even with a 0 from Darren Waller as Derek Carr manages 24.35 points, and San Francisco's defense nets 15 points. As we mentioned earlier, Rebel Scum is now 3-0 across 3 different leagues for 2 weeks in a row now, and looks to be heating up just in time. Final in this one, Show Me Your Kittles 65.4, Rebel Scum 80.65. The Kittles will travel to the THC Dome to battle Team Sesh, while Rebel Scum heads to the stadium to battle the fantasy football team. Our fourth matchup was Saints for Life versus Mongo Mentality. This matchup featured 2 of the top 4 scoring teams of Week 5 as Saints for Life bounces back to post a 149.1 point score, aided in large part by a 33.9 point effort from Austin Eckler, as well as 4 other players hitting the 15 point or higher mark. Mongo Mentality saw great performances from Derrick Henry with 26.23 points and Justin Jefferson with 24.55 points, but was just unable to keep up with the high-powered Saints for Life offense. Final here in the Amy Dome, Mongo Mentality 135.45, Saints for Life 149.1. Next week, we'll see Mongo Mentality visiting the Timinators and Saints for Life at Betsy Ross Field for a match against Stars and Stripes. Our Week 10 contest in the Outcast League, our Week 5 contest, our Week 5 $10 contest here in the Outcast League was most turnovers created by a defensive or special teams unit. There was a 2-way tie this week, and as Jake and Connor both managed 2 turnovers. Tiebreaker goes to Jake as Denver manages a 13 total point effort. Week 6 contest is tight end with the most receiving yards. Fewest receptions will be the tiebreaker. And our final match and 5th match here in the Outcast League was Stars and Stripes versus the fantasy football team. This final match saw Stars and Stripes holding on to a 34.15 point lead heading into Monday night's matchups, and Mike had to be feeling pretty good despite a 0-point game from both tight end O.J. Howard and place kicker Young Hoku. Jalen Hurts netted Stars and Stripes 30.05 points as Stars and Stripes totals out at 88.95. The fantasy football team had just 1 player left as Monday night kicked off, and that was Travis Kelce. Kelce managed to do everything he could to snatch the victory here, scoring 30 points on 4 touchdowns and 4 touchdown receptions and 25 receiving yards. In the end, the fantasy football team comes up just 4.15 points short as Stars and Stripes hangs on to win it, 88.95 to 84.8. Next up for the fantasy football team is a visit from Red Hot Rebel Scum, while Stars and Stripes hosts Saint for Life.
Bark, 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 barkity bark.
Bark, 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 barkity bark. Bark, 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 barkity bark. Bark, bark, barkity bark. Bark, bark, bark. Who laid an egg?
Hey everybody, it's me, Bockety. I'm back again to let you know, bark, who laid an egg. Connor started Trevor Lawrence over Carson Wentz, costing himself 16.25 points and the win. Connor laid an egg. Had Spencer started Gabe Davis and David Montgomery over Khalil Herbert and J.K. Dobbins, he would not be at the bottom of the division right now. Spencer laid an egg. Had Veronica started Michael Carter over either of her starters, she would have gotten the win in her match. Veronica laid an egg. Had KC started Dallas Goddard and Jacoby Myers over T. Higgins and Darren Waller, he would have easily beaten garbage time. KC laid an egg. On that note, had garbage time owner Casey made the rumored trades he was possibly involved with, he would likely not have had any worries about a potential comeback from Team 1051. Casey did not make the rumored trade, so Casey laid an egg. That's it for me this week, folks. See you all back here on the farm after week 9. Bok, 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 bockety bok. Bok, 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 bockety bok.
Thank you, Bockety. That will do it for this week's edition of the Fantasy Football News. As always, we appreciate viewers like you and hope that you are satisfied with your viewing experience. If you have a comment, question, or concern about our programming, please feel free to message me and we will see if we can address those issues. Additionally, any content from others will be appreciated and included. So if you would like to add a segment, just let me know and we can work on how to get it produced for the show. Thank you again. I'm Eric. And remember, here at Fantasy Football News, we're better than you.